Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a custom label for your chart. So in this example we have a column chart and we have this label here. And this label is a little bit different from the other kind of labels that you would get in default from a chart, because when you add a label, usually it's going to take either from your series, or it'll take from your category, or it'll basically take from the value in the cells. But in this instance, I kind of added a customized label where it kind of took the percentage difference. This is the change difference from 2010 to 2009, and added also a little symbol here. This up triangle for periods or the year where the change was positive, and this downward triangle where the changes were negative. So there's a couple ways that we can do this. In Excel 2013 and higher, adding this customized label is a little bit easier. In Excel versions that are previous to 2013, like 2010 and below, it takes a little bit more, but you can still do this. Now I'll go ahead and show the example with 2013 and show you how I get the symbol plus the percentage sign in one cell together. And it also applies to the example where I'm going to show for previous versions under 2013, like 2010 and 2007. So let's start with example 1. So in example 1, I have copied over the table here, and I kind of left this area blank because I wanted to show you how to add that triangle in there. So that triangle is either upward facing or downward facing, and you can enter in the symbol. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it up here as a placeholder so I can copy it down to my other cells. And actually, if I'm in the home button, I can look at the font I use. You can actually use any font. I'm using Calibri right now. I want to go into the Insert tab, and I want to insert a symbol. So after I insert a symbol, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I am in this area where it says Unicode. And since I have Calibri, I'm just going to go to Calibri here and to make sure that I got it correctly, or consistent. Let me see. I'm going to just be in Calibri. And what I want to do is under the subset, make sure I am in the Unicode here. I want to look for the geometric shapes area, or the section. So if I kind of scroll down here, let me see where I can find it. Geometric shapes. I want to select that one, and it's going to give me the geometric shapes here. Let me go ahead and go back up here and see if I can find it. Let me scroll down. Let me scroll down here. Maybe it's not under Calibri. Maybe I actually need to go back to Aerial. So let me go ahead and select Aerial instead, and let me go ahead and find it there. So if I go to Aerial, I think Aerial has a little bit more choices, and I'm under the geometric shapes. Incidentally, you won't see this if you have something else like ASCII. So if we have the ASCII selected, that disappears. So we need to have the Unicode that selected there, and under the subset field shows up again. So I'm just going and find geometric shapes here. Let me go ahead and find that. Here we go, and we find our triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this triangle in here. Click that, click insert. You can see it shows up, and click the one that points down. And I'm going to go ahead and click insert and click close. And now I have my two basic shapes here that I can copy from. So in this particular change column, I want to have the instance where if this is greater than that, give me the up arrow. If it's less than that, give me the down arrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type an if statement. So I'm going to type if this is greater than that, then give me this up arrow. And I need to put these the symbol, or this up triangle, in quotes. So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and put a space here. So what happens if I put a space here? Excel sees that as text, and it won't execute that command. So let me go ahead and press enter, and I want to get back into the cell and just select that particular shape. Control C to copy. Let me go back in here and put that in quotes. So quote, Control V to paste. Close quote. And so that's what that is saying is, if C4 is greater than B4, 9.8 is greater than 7.8, give me that up arrow. If it's not, and basically it says, if that's greater than that, if it's true, give me that. If it's false, give me the next argument here. So false is going to be this one. So I'm going to go ahead and press escape. Let me go over back to this cell, select this, Control C to copy, go back into this cell, And oops, I forgot to save that. Oh shoot. Let me go ahead and try this again. So let me go ahead and go back into the cell, select that, Control C to copy. Back here, let me see, quote, Control V to paste that, quote, and then press enter. Let's see, that saved that. Okay, good. It saved it since I pressed enter. Let me go back up here, select this, Control C to copy, go back into the cell, and I'm going to have a comma for the next argument. And let's see, open quotes, Control V to paste, close quotes. Now let me not forget to remove that space here. So since I had that space here, Excel sees this whole thing as text and not a beginning of a function or formula. So if I delete that space, now you can see the colors have changed here. So Excel starts to see this more as a function, and it sees the reference to C4B4 here. So if I close quotes, and also when I move to different parts of the formula function, you can see it kind of gives me tips here. So if I go ahead and close quotes, press enter, you'll see that it's giving me the symbol. Now let me go ahead and double click to bring this down. And now it's just giving me the symbols to indicate whether or not this cell or this cell reference is greater than that. So in here, that's greater, of course, and so it gives me the up triangle. When I get down here to June, that is less than that and gives me the down arrow. But I'd also like to have the numbers show up, the percentage show up. So I have to add an extra function in here. So now I have my arrows to indicate the direction, whether it changed positive or negative. But I can also add in the numbers. So if I put an ampersand and I go this minus that and press enter, you see that it shows my percentages. Let me go ahead and click up here and double click the fill handle here, and it's going to copy it down. And the reason why it kind of shows these is it basically, this is formatted for a number, and so it shows up to the further out into many decimal places here. And that's not what I want, because when I basically chart this out, it's going to give some funky errors, or it's going to not chart it out correctly. And what I basically want to do is this is just basically a label, and when we think about it, it's a text label. I don't want numbers to be combined here with the text label. So what I want to do is I kind of want to wrap this around a function called the text function. So I'll type in text, and then this value. So basically, it's going to calculate that first, and then what I want to do is I want to format that value as a text. And so I just wanted to have it out to maybe the 10th decimal place. And so what I want to do, well, maybe I'll have it up to the 100th decimal place. Let me go ahead and use the format here, 0.00, and then percentage, and then close quotes, and press Shift Enter. So it'll still give me the out to the 100th decimal place, but now the way that it's going to format that value, it's going to format it as a text, and it makes it great for a label now. So once I press Control Enter, I'll just go ahead and stay in that cell. It's going to do the same thing, but it's going to format it out as a percentage. I didn't have to go up here and change it, so basically just formatted it within the cell itself. Let me go ahead and double click it and bring it down, and now we have our nice kind of textual format of the value plus this icon. So now I can go ahead and chart it out. What I'm going to do right now is just going to chart this part out, and go ahead and click Insert, and I'm going to insert a column chart, and that's my 2D column chart. I'm going to bring this up here and kind of make it a little bit bigger, and I want to add a label now. So in order to add a label, let me go ahead and add a label here at the 2010, since I want to look at the change from 2010 to 2009. Let me go ahead and add the label here. So if I right click and go ahead and add data label, it's going to add the data label for that. And I don't want that to happen. I want to actually do a custom label and add it over here. So I'm going to go and click on the labels here and right click Format Data Labels. And once that's done, I have a couple options where I can change the data label. I don't want to have the value. I don't want this value to show up. All right, so I'm going to uncheck that. And what I want to do is I want to click this value from cell. So Excel 2013 and on, it gives you this option to select values from different cells, which is going to be this part where I added this particular column. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And my data range, I'm going to go ahead and select this data range. So once I select that data range, click OK, and now you notice it showed up correctly. So I'm going to close that, and you can see now the change is above the 2010. So it indicates that it is a change from the previous period. So I can just go ahead and clean this up a little bit more. The chart title, maybe I want to have it point to this title here. So I'm just going to go click equal and just point that cell reference A1 and press enter, and it's going to take it from here. So I can change it anytime I want. And maybe I don't want these grid lines, so I'll select that and press delete, and the grid lines disappear. Now there's some instances where I can maybe do a little cleanup. There's some labels here that kind of touch the bars. I can just select that label, click it, and it selects all the labels. Click it again, and it'll just select just that label, and I can just move that up here, and maybe do the same for this one. Move that up here. You may notice that there's these lines here, and those are the leader lines that we saw earlier. Let me go ahead and select. Let me go select outside. Select this, right click, and go in Format Data Labels, and let's get rid of those leader lines. Let me go select that, and those have disappeared. So leader lines are something that are new in 2013 as part of some of the chart options. Sometimes it's nice to have them there, sometimes it's not. In this case, I prefer not to have them. So this is an example of how to create custom labels in 2013 or greater, Excel 2013 or greater, because you have that option of getting labels from a cell range. Now in Excel 2010 and previous, you don't really have that option available, but there is a workaround. And I actually got this tip from Minda Tracy. She has a blog called My Online Training Hub. Great resource. Try to go on there if you could. And actually, it uses a helper column using the max function. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that example. I've got the same data here, and let me go ahead and copy this particular range of cells. Control C to copy. Let me go into my next sheet here, and Control V to paste. And basically, I'm going to use the same things here. You can use I'm going to use the icons here, and basically the text functions here, the combination of the text and the if function. But I'm also going to need to have a helper column. So this helper column here is what it's going to do is it's going to give me data for another series of values, or another series of data points that I can put into the chart and kind of make it a combination chart. So the particular function that I'm going to use here is I want to use the max function. So I'm going to type equals max, and basically it's just going to give me the maximum number between a series of numbers. So the maximum number between these two numbers is 9.8. The maximum number, let's see, in June here is going to be 9.5, the 2009 entry. So I'm just going to go and select that, comma, and select that, close parentheses, press Control Enter to stay in that cell. You can see it's 9.8. So it took the bigger value of these two values, the maximum value. Let me go ahead and double click the fill handle here to bring it down. You can see now that that's the maximum value there. If I go to June, 9.5 should be the maximum between those two values. So that's great. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just do the same thing I did before. I'm going to select this range of data, go under Insert, and go under the bar chart here. Now I'm showing you in Excel 2013, but the steps basically are going to be very similar or the same in previous versions, because basically we're just creating a chart, and we're going to use the other series values here to kind of add to that. So I have this particular helper column here. I'm going to go and add that in there. Let me go ahead and just make this a little bit bigger first. All right, and so I have my values here. These are 2009, 2010. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and have this particular series of data in here too. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, press Control C to copy. I can actually go into the cell here and just Control V to paste, and it's going to add that in there. And this particular series is here, and it's very similar to that series, but you see some differences where in the instance where we get to June, right here, it's going to be similar to the 2009 data. But I'm going to take this series, and because this is going to be my invisible series where I can put my custom labels. So now after I inserted this helper column in here, what I want to do is I want to have this on its own axis. Right now, it's on the same axis as the 2009, 2010. So I want to click on this series of data, the helper column series data, right click, and go under Format Data Series. And once that comes up, I have my series options. I want to put that on a secondary axis. So once I click on that, you'll notice that there is another axis here, and this particular series of data is on another axis now. So that's fine. Once that happens, what I want to do is I want to change the category where this particular series of data is aligned to. So I'm going to go ahead, this is still selected, you can see that all these are still selected, and I'm going to go on and right click and go under select data, and go under the helper column here. Let me go and click on that. And I want to change the category access labels. I don't want them to represent these months. I want them to represent this particular range of data. So I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. And this access label here, I'm going to go ahead and select these. Instead of having it January to December, I want to have it these particular values. Click OK, and it comes back. And for my category access labels, it's going to be these values. And you see that keyword category is going to come into play when I change the data label. So I'm going to click OK. And let me go ahead and close this. And right now I've got, it doesn't seem like much has changed, but once I go ahead and click on the helper columns here, I'm going to go ahead and right click and I'm going to add a data label. So I'm going to add the data label, and you'll see that it's basically added the data label for the values here. And I don't want that. I want to add the data labels for that category here. So I'm going to select my data labels, right? Right click now and go under Format Data Labels. And now I have that category name, and that's the thing that shows up. Basically, in Excel 2010 and before and previous, you don't have this value from cells, so you just have the series name, category name, value. I don't think you even have show leader lines. So I'm going to go ahead and check the category name, and then go ahead and uncheck the value and uncheck the show leader lines. Okay, let me go ahead and close this. And you can see we have some kind of differences here. And the reason why we have some differences here is this axis and this axis have different ranges. So I want to make sure that these two are the same. So let me go ahead and make these the same. I don't think there's anything above 12. So I'm going to keep that 12 also applied here, because basically the secondary axis applies to my series of data, which are gray here. So I'm going to go and select this axis and go ahead and right click, Format Access, and make sure that the maximum, let's see, the maximum unit is 12, so 12%. All right, go ahead and click, let me go and close that, and you can see that it matches now. See, so that matches that particular vertical axis matches that one. So I'm going to, after that matches, I'm going to just remove this. Select this and just press delete. Basically, the axis is still there, but we just deleted the display of it. Now I'm pretty much almost there, and I want to get rid of these particular bars. These bars show my label here, but I don't want to have these bars, so I'm just going to make them invisible. So I'm going to right click, and I can actually do it here where I can change the fill. And let's do it with the panel here. Let me go ahead and right click and go into Format Data Series, and basically I want to have my fill as nothing, no fill, and I also want to have my border lines as nothing, no line here. And go ahead and click Close, and you see now it's kind of disappeared. Oh no, it's still there. Let me go ahead and select this, right click, go into Format Data Series. Let me see what happened. Go back into my fill line. Oh, it's at solid line. Let me go ahead and change that border to no line. So once I click no line, close that, and it's pretty much disappeared. So let me select these lines, these grid lines, press delete, and those are gone. And now we can see that we have our custom labels. This is the other way that we can do it. And some cleanup here, we can remove that particular legend text there. Go ahead and select that. I selected the legend. I selected this particular area again. Press delete, and I can change the chart title. Select that. Go up here in the formula bar, press equals, and select cell A1. Press enter, and it gives me that particular title. And basically, we have our custom label formatting. Now, this particular steps, you can do it in 2013, but it's a lot more steps. It's much easier to do it this way, where we have adding the custom labels from a range of cells. But if you don't have 2013 or you don't 2016, you have Excel 2010 or previous, you can actually use this particular series of steps to create another column chart, hide that, and add the labels via the category selection. Basically, just kind of a workaround for that. So that's how we can add a custom label in Excel, whether you have 2013 or greater or 2010 or before. There's different ways that you can do that. So I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.